Good morning, Facebook friends. Judy Best with eXp Realty here. We're talking about what's happening in our world right now. So are you at home alone or with other people? We want to know where you are. Are you at work? Are you at home? I am at the Best Casa. I had already moved home from our offices because we had outgrown our space, and they asked me to give my office up. And so I've been working from home before this ever happened, and so I was already adapting. Uh, so if you are watching live, let us know where you're watching from and who all you're having contact with. We want to know how social distancing is working for you. And if you're watching by replay, drop a hashtag replay and let us know how it's going at your place. Are you on top of the world or are you struggling? We want to know. With me today is my good friend and just my good friend, Cora Gray. And we had planned this Facebook Live before the coronavirus hit, and we just adjusted our plan a little bit so we can talk about what's on all of our minds. So Cora, tell everybody a little more about you.
Well, thank you first for asking me to do this. I'm super excited about it. I think this is definitely so good for me because I want to be right in your face, literally face to face. So thank you for this. I am currently at my office. I'm still coming in. I'm a director of marketing for Pain Treatment Centers of America, as well as a lifestyle blogger. So for me, this is, especially being in the marketing field, this time of uncertainty has been an incredible learning experience for me, something in my entire career that I haven't been exposed to. So we're working through it and it's great. So again, I'm blessed to be able to be in my office and driving in, and I'll keep coming as long as they let me in the door. So
before we got on this call, before we went live, we were chatting here, and I had a trip to plan to Ireland that I did cancel, and I can replan in the future. And Cora had just come back from Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. So tell us how it was there as this was just happening, because you were telling me that just before we started.
You know, we flew out on the 29th of February. So we went through Fort Lauderdale and we went through Dallas. We really didn't see much of anything. We were in San Juan for a few days. Again, didn't see a whole lot. The second or third day, we drove into Rincon, which is on the very other side of the island from San Juan. It's very disconnected. Not a lot going on. These people are truly just locals. They're laid back. Not a lot of TV. We went on, life as usual. Didn't see a whole lot of anything unusual, and didn't see masks. Didn't see, anything like that. When we flew back on the 9th, I believe, it was completely different. I mean, we flew into Fort Lauderdale and then into Dallas, and it was very noticeable. It was very, very different. And of course, we had been disconnected, as we wanted to be for that week. So we didn't know a whole lot of what was going on. Came back into work. I do work in healthcare. So it was, I literally came in and hit the ground running with marketing and trying to figure out how are we going to address our patients and the public and be positive, as well as a valuable resource as to what's going on and being up to date. I think that's the most important thing through this is finding positivity. I mean, we really have to do that with our social media, with our advertising, with everything that we're doing.
Cora and I are very different people. Cora is very, very outgoing.
Yes.
Has never met a stranger. She will talk to anyone.
Right.
And she just loves people. I would describe you as a lover of people. There are some people that say, I love business if it weren't for the people. You love business. I mean, you love people.
Right. Right. I do. I love that. I've been doing this for, oh my gosh, 12 years or more. I love the referral development part of it, and I love bringing the marketing into that because there's a face-to-face aspect to it that is crucial to businesses. And so for me, like I said in the beginning, this has been really hard for me to do. I love this, doing the Zoom and having meetings and even, coffees and things like that, but it doesn't feel the same. I'm having a really hard time feeling like I'm truly connecting with these new people that I'm having virtual coffees with. And I know that I am. And, so this may be a little bit of a blessing in disguise and a learning experience for me too, because it's helping me reach out further in my network than I probably normally would have done.
See, I feel like that's true for me too, because I'm not like you. Right. I'm a little more withdrawn, and I'm slower to embrace others. I feel like that because I know how great the need is out there for social contact, that I'm calling people that I wouldn't have ever called. Yeah. And the people are appreciating that anybody's calling them. I've gotten 4 calls from Iberia Bank. Iberia Bank is just making sure that I can get there and do my banking and stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, I really appreciate it that Iberia Bank is calling me. But where's my insurance agent? Where is my fitness center? The different people. And it's just important for us to reach out. I'm going to jump into our tips.
Okay.
So here we go, because that's what we're talking about now. Maintain virtual contact with your network was your first tip that you wanted to give to others. So let's talk about that, Cora.
Okay. So for me, as far as I'm on the networking side of what I do for CoraGray.com, and then what I'm doing with Pain Treatment Centers of America as their marketing director, from that side of it, referrals are crucial for us. They are the livelihood of our business. So it was very important to me to figure out a way not to ghost those referral sources, because technically that's what's going on. We do have clinics that are very similar to ours that have just shut their doors, and there's no contact with their patients. There's no contact with their referral sources. When this is over, those patients they will have noticed that. The referring physicians will have noticed that. So the first 2 days, what I did with my assistant is we made a call list of every referring source that we've had in the last 3 months, and we called them directly. We called those clinics, talked to them, let them know, listen, we may not get your patient as quickly as we usually do, but we're working on that. We have a policy in place. Your patients have been very grateful for the procedures that have been put in place so that they are safe. And it has been, we have got just amazing feedback from our referral sources, because they know we're still there. They know we still care about their patients. Now that, that's been last week, this week we're going to send out thank you notes. And then next week we're going to send out a letter, and we're going to try to figure out a way to stay connected with them. We can't necessarily do a lot of, Zoom or virtual contact with our referring sources, but at least they know we're connected. They know they can still call our call center. They know we're still open. Same way with social media, staying connected to them, driving our content towards those referring sources and towards our established patients, so they know we're still in place. As far as what I'm doing with my own, just making sure that I'm calling people, texting people, letting them know. I'm learning more and more about, video. That's something that it's sad to say, as long as I've been in marketing, it is not something I've ever really been interested in, because I wanted to physically go out and meet with those people.
Yes.
So it's something that I'm learning a lot with. I'm in Shifter. So this weekend I had my first Zoom Shifter meeting, and it was great. I mean, we were all in our pajamas with our coffee, and yeah, so it worked out really well, and I enjoyed it. I've had some, Wine Down Wednesday, where we just sit there and, drink our wine and just talk and visit, and some other networking groups where we've just logged on and FaceTimed, and it's been really good. It makes me feel a lot better about the situation, and then like I said, I'm learning something new too. So
for those of you that don't know what Shifter is, it is a women's mastermind group.
Yes.
that is a new thing in Arkansas. It's about a year old.
Right.
Outside of the original people that started it, and Gretchen Jackson is a big part of it. So we would encourage any women that are watching this, if you feel like you need to get in a mastermind right now, reach out to Gretchen, or you could reach out to me or Cora Gray, and we would get you connected with the Shift Her
Right. And I have
group.
to say, just kind of a shout out to them, the mind shift, the learning of that. I went into this pandemic with a different mindset than I think I probably would have. So I have to say I do owe that to them, and it has helped me immensely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I know that you and I have been working on our mindsets for a
Yeah.
long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been because I was with you in the beginning
Right.
but we had started before we even got together. And when you're continually working on improving your own mindset, your
Right.
own ability to respond and connect with the people around you, that helps in situations like this when you get into a more difficult situation.
Right.
I would encourage you that call the people in your phone, call the people in your Rolodex, send them a text, and don't make it about referrals.
Exactly.
Yeah, make it about how are you? Just ask, how are you? I want to know if you're okay and if you need anything. And that's what all these calls are about right now. My mom is watching this, and she's self-isolating herself in Springfield, Missouri, and she's in her 80s. And I'm calling her every day. But one of the things she was doing before we went into this, she had always worked at the local hospital since I was a child, and she still volunteers there several days a week. And that has had to stop for now, for her safety and for everyone else's. But I talked to Mom, and I said, Mom, you need to call the volunteers who are all isolated at home, because whether they have a spouse at home with them or not, they would love to hear from somebody that isn't in those four walls right now.
Absolutely.
So Mom's been calling people in her phone and calling her volunteer friends, and I'm so proud of her because this isn't a practice she's had in her life, and
Right.
she's doing it now. So the next tip is interesting. Hold virtual training classes. Talk some about that, Cora. Tell us what you're thinking.
Absolutely. This is given. I'm not. I've traveled my entire career. My husband travels, which on that's a whole nother podcast on how we've learned each other literally, which has been really good. But I don't bake and I don't cook, so this has been something where I'm really sitting down with my laptop and figuring out recipes at night and figuring out how to do these things. So learning those things, and a lot of it is people that I know that are teachers or trainers or things like that, virtual workouts with people, but learning new things like that. So learning to cook was a big thing for me. I do a lot of woodworking. I'm working on some basic woodworking videos, to push out. So I get questions about that all the time. So being able, if you have a skill, share it with someone, because there are people out there that are grasping for new things to learn, grasping for things to fill their time. So, and I would almost bet that one of your friends out there, somebody out there has a skill that's valuable that you want to learn. Ask them to teach. Again, like I said, with my shifter group, I know there's several women in there that, they have so many amazing things to offer. Put that on video. Let's share it with someone. Plus, again, it's good for your business as well. If you have a craft, I know a lot of people are making surgical masks right now. That's something that's so important.
Yes.
There may be a lot more of us out there that have a sewing machine that's been sitting in the closet for years. Let's break that out and figure out what we can do to help. And then learn something valuable at the same time. Honestly, learning how to use Zoom was so new to me.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. let's start a book club. Let's start things. There's so many virtual things that you can do. And that helps you fill that void, that helps you feel like you're not alone, that helps you feel like you are still in existence, so to speak, and you're still out there. And
Still connected to others.
yes, absolutely. Or just get online and do a Facebook Live and say something positive. That's what I look for in my newsfeed more than anything else now. I see these statistics over and over and over again. I'm going to stop and I'm going to read that message that is positive and reassuring and encouraging to me, and I'll read those all day long. So I think that's something too. If you write, if if you love those things, write something positive. Let me read it. I mean, I think that's incredibly important.
Write a fun poem. We need some fun
absolutely
poetry. Yeah.
right.
Absolutely. Well, I want to give a shout out to a couple of my friends. You may be thinking of someone while I say this, Cora. Michelle Hill, I know she's on here right now. She is putting out videos, live Facebook Lives, cooking,
Right.
giving people recipes to cook. And Michelle is an amazing chef. So definitely connect with her. Alicia Coven is one of my friends, and she's managing Argenta Nutrition, but right now she's giving live fitness tips. And Anna Bolt is a pregnant fitness person who she works with mothers who are pregnant or who have just had a baby, and to get back in shape. And so if you're interested in that, grab that. Who do you know that's putting out really good videos right now, Cora?
Oh, Gretchen she's always has things that are reassuring. Melissa, forgive me, I never pronounce her last name correctly.
Valencia.
Yes, she always puts out things that are great. Erica Owens, I'm going to call her out. She is going to kill me, but I'm really hoping to see some amazing things from her because she is a health and wellness instructor, and she has some phenomenal tips that we talked about yesterday, and I'm really hoping to see some videos from her. Tracy Beavers is always amazing. She is the most positive person that I know. Anything it's amazing. So anything that she puts out, she does great. And from a little higher perspective, I think, I've really watched some of the videos from Rachel Hollis. Her and her husband have been really great as far as keeping people encouraged and reassured and just inspirational. I love her stuff. Goodness, there's so many. I mean, I think the women within the groups that I'm in, the shifter groups and networking groups with women influencers. I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, tune into those groups and those pages. And you can't help but smile by the news feeds.
We need positivity.
Yes,
we need
absolutely.
Positivity and smiles. So please reach out when you need a lift up to one of your friends that can help you reset your attitude for a minute. It's okay to be scared, and it's okay to have tears. Yes. I've been through all of those days, and when I had fear and I had tears, I had friends who I could call and say, listen, guys, help me. So if you're in that place right now, do that. If you know anybody that's putting out good content right now, drop it in the comments, ladies, because we want to know, or guys too. Erica Owens was working with me to get me in shape for Ireland. And so I am now doing the workouts she gave me then, and I'm doing them from home. So Erica, come on, you can do some live videos and make this happen, because we need that. Those of us that are sitting at home, I'm trying not to eat everything.
Right.
But but that's a struggle. And being just sitting on the couch, being a couch potato is another struggle. So for all of us working from home or working from work, I know you probably need to get up and move some too.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. And, I think look close, look at your neighbors, figure out ways. They have skills that you need to learn too. It doesn't have to be across the world. Look in your own neighborhoods and figure out what those people are doing that they can share with you. I have Courtney. She is phenomenal. She lives in my neighborhood, and she is an amazing cook, which I am not. And so, for her to, I can call her and say, listen, I had to come into the office today. My whole family is home. My husband is tired of cooking. Can you let me pay you to cook us dinner tonight, and bring it to our doorstep, or whatever the case is. Those are things. And she's, even before this happened, she's my casserole girl is what I call her. I love her, but I could call her and say, hey, I need this for 3 days next week or whatever. And it's extra income. There's people
Right.
that are out there that are furloughed right now that are looking for ways to make money. If you don't have time to cut your grass, or if you don't have time to, do some of the things that aren't going to bring those people, within the distance you're not supposed to be, call them and see how they can help you.
That's true.
Because you're going to be helping them. So,
Yeah. And our last tip is to give back to your community, but that could include give back to your neighborhood, like you were just describing. So I popped that up while you were talking. Some of you guys will know about the Nextdoor app that's on our computers and stuff, and you may be participating in it. And our neighborhood also has, in addition to that, has a Facebook page. And last week, at one point, I had everything I needed to make meatloaf, except I did not have tomato juice. And I went to the grocery store at my normal run, and there was no tomato juice to be found on any of the shelves. So I didn't get it, but I thought, I'm just going to do this. And so I put it on the Facebook pages. I wish for tomato juice. If you have extra in your pantry, I wish that we could find a contactless way for me to get that. Well, right. Two neighbors made substitution suggestions to me. But then I got a Facebook message from someone I had not met before in my neighborhood, but one of them had spread it out to more of the neighbors, and she said, go look in your mailbox.
Oh.
And in my mailbox was a jar of tomato juice, and I was able to make my meatloaf.
Wow.
So I feel like that hails back to the days where we walked out our front doors. We knew our neighbors. We didn't pull in our garages and put the garage door down and never go out the front door or anything. I grew up in a neighborhood on Burton Street in Springfield, Missouri, and everyone came and went from their front doors because we had detached garages. Right. And so we saw each other and we waved at each other, and Mom would say, run over to Reba and ask her for a cup of flour, or run over to other neighbors, Mrs. Smoot, run over, I don't know Mrs. Smoot's first name, Mrs. Smoot, and get a cup of sugar. We always went and asked for an egg or whatever we were missing to make the next thing we needed. And right. I think that's huge. Now, that's small ways, but I think being open to your neighbors, even though you're
right
from them, being open to being a part of that community is huge. Now, I know you were probably thinking of more than that.
Well, that too, we had a very interesting chalk project where, everybody went outside and wrote something, and then everybody would take a walk, in within our neighborhood. And we have a lot of younger kids in our neighborhood, so they were able to kind of see that. I think the bear hunt, we didn't participate in that, but we see that a lot on our, drive home, where the bears are in the window. It just keeps everybody engaged. More and more families have been out in the yard in our neighborhood that I have seen in the 4 years we've lived there, just playing ball with their kids or hanging out with their kids. I can tell you, I've ate dinner at the table with all of my family there, more so in the last couple of weeks than we have in a very long time. A lot more communication has happened. So there are some very positive things that's happening close to home, but outside of the house, your local coffee shop, if, buy a gift card, start a tab, I think that works really well. I think it worked great with Nexus, just even if it's, a cup of coffee, call and tell them, hey, I want to buy a cup of coffee for the next person that pulls up or whatever, just to try to help them out. Same with your local restaurants, donate $20, $30 for a dinner one night if you can do that. There's so many things that we can do to give back. We have so many local boutiques and online boutiques. Promote for them, share their pages, ask them, I have several, of my friends that own boutiques where I've messaged them and say, listen, send me some pictures, send me some advertising, send me something that I can push out. Let me share that for you. I would love to be able to do that. And then work on, I think the biggest part of it is positivity. When you are sharing and you are posting and you're going outside of your home with your virtual feed, just be positive. Share things that are positive. We can get on Google at any second and look at the death toll and look at the things that are going on. We can't get on Facebook and choose that. So push it out there. Push what you want to see. I know that's one thing that I've almost pulled back from in the beginning. I didn't want to get on Facebook. I didn't want to get on to, I didn't want to see it. It's reality and it's happening, but it's something that it's really hard just to be inundated with that. So make sure you're positive. Even with what I'm doing with Pain Treatment Centers of America, which is, again, it's a medical facility. We're healthcare, but we also know that our patients want to see positivity too. We've pushed out our regulations and our policies and our procedures, but we also have other things that we want them to know. It's Doctors Day today, so, oh my gosh, that's one thing, put on your social media how much you appreciate your doctors, because right now they are working through a nightmare. So, just a simple thank you, it works great. Next month is Autism Month. We always push out, encouraging things. And so look at that. Look at some things that don't necessarily have to do with COVID, and be positive. Adhere to the regulations and social distance and do the things that you're supposed to do, because we all want this to be over soon, but also don't let life completely stop. Be positive.
Yeah, you got to find a place of joy in the midst of this, and it helps me that I have my faith, and that I can pray, and that I know that God has this all in control.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, but beyond that, I love the relationship that my mother and I have built, as I've been calling her every day, making sure she's okay. I love that she's building deeper friendships with the people that she works with in the hospital, and that when this is over, she will probably have new people to eat lunches with, to eat breakfast with, to have over and have a meal together. I'm getting to know my neighbors. I know you mentioned that. We all have bears in our front window because the families are doing the bear hunt in our neighborhood.
I love that.
I wished that I had sidewalk chalk so I could go draw something on the driveway, but it keeps raining anyway. I don't know that it would stay long. I don't know it, but if I had chalk, I would be out there making kind of an amateur picture. One of the things that I'm doing in my real estate business is I'm talking to people who want to learn to be a realtor during this time that they're isolated at home. So if that's something any of you are interested in, I would be glad to talk to you about that, because now if you aren't working, if you are isolated from your job, many people are, you have time to learn something new from the meals that Michelle is teaching people to cook, to maybe creating a new future, whether it's becoming a makeup artist or being a realtor. But that's something that I'm talking to people about, because now is the perfect time to use this time for that. Thank you so much for being with me today, Cora.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Love our time together. We both have young ladies, daughters, who are becoming young women. And I know that's a whole nother challenge in this social isolating thing, is about kids that aren't even in the home anymore. So whatever you're thinking, tell me if you're watching this, tell us what you're planning to learn, or what you've been learning as you've gone through this. What new meal have you cooked? We're going to wrap up for now. I'll be back next Monday at 11:30. Next week is Easter week.
Yes.
And I had planned to have with me next Monday, Stephanie Ferrara, talking about Easter plans. And let's make some Easter plans, even though we may be self-isolating.
Yeah,
Uh,
dress up, put your church clothes on and have fun.
Easter hat.
Yes.
I may wear a fascinator for Monday's meeting. Thank you guys so much. Come back here next week at 11:30. And if I can help you in any way, if Cora can help you in any way,
Absolutely.
we are both willing to reach out to you at social distance. As soon as this is over, I want to have a meal with you, Cora. So
Sounds
let's plan
good.
on that. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.